to focus on visibility, we're actually going to migrate around the indicators wheel a little bit and get to this place of conscious communication. And so this is a framework that we've pulled together of some of what we found to be the most helpful tools around communication, and we call it conscious communication. And it's just really helpful. And so we wanted to practice with it a little bit today and share it with you. So to start, we'll back up a little bit and we'll just introduce this quick continuum or this spectrum. And this is the task versus relationship continuum. And I don't know about you, but I find myself on this particular spectrum just all day, every day, right? I got stuff to do. I got 3 small kids. And so there's lots of tasks to do. Get them, get their shoes on, get them fed, get them out the door, get them to school, prep for this call, build the slides for this, do a dry run with Pablo and Anne. And in and amongst all of that task to-do list type approach, there's relationships that we're trying to tend to. There's connections that we're trying to make with other people or even with ourselves, taking time and space to reflect and connect to what's most meaningful to us. And so I find myself balancing those 2 objectives in life, and sometimes being really task focused and sometimes recognizing that actually I can put that to-do list aside and focus in on a relationship that needs tending to or needs some connection. Okay. With that, when we think about how we communicate, when I'm coming at something from a task focused place or a relationship focused place, how I approach communication has to shift, right? And we see lots of leaders who get in trouble because they don't shift their communication techniques. They're very task focused and they try and take that into a relational space, and it just doesn't work particularly well. And so we've narrowed it down into what we call the 3Ds. And so the first one is directives, right? So when you're trying to get a task done, right, directives is the tool of choice, right? And we can talk about what makes for good directives and what makes directives terrible, but that's for another lunch and learn. We're going to focus on not this one, right? We're going to shift over, and we're actually not even going to do dialogue today. We're going to do the last one, but dialogue is the bridge. Dialogue is the ability to engage in meaningful conversation. For Pablo and I to both be present with each other and to talk about something meaningful, to engage in a bit of tension, or a bit of conflict and work through it, right? As equals or as people who want to get to a task or get to something, some sort of resolution, right? To get there, we talk about deep listening. So that's the third D here is deep listening. And this is the ability to hold space, to be present with people, to listen for needs and values and goals, to set aside our own ego or our own perspective of what the actual problem is and just be present with someone and listen. The gift of compassionate presence, just being present with someone and not judging what they're saying is really a gift. And it's an essential ingredient in resolving conflict, because chances are that both parties often don't feel like they've been listened to, right? Don't feel like the other person is actually hearing what's meaningful to them. And so we get stuck in conflict.